You are afraid of something right now. Maybe you don't call it fear. Maybe it sits quietly behind your eyes as a low hum, a vague unease you cannot name. But it is there. And here's what nobody tells you about it. That fear is not yours. It was built for someone else. Someone who lived in a world so dangerous that the wrong reaction to the wrong shadow could end everything in seconds. Your fear is ancient engineering, older than language, older than fire. And understanding what ancient humans actually feared will change how you read your own mind forever. Start with the obvious one. Darkness. Not the comfortable darkness of a bedroom. Real darkness. The kind that pressed against ancient eyes like a physical weight. Anthropologist David Lewis Williams found something extraordinary. In true darkness, the human brain begins generating its own images, shapes, movement at the edges of vision that isn't there. Ancient humans experienced this every single night, and what lived in that manufactured darkness became the foundation of the first monsters ever imagined. The dark was not empty. Their minds made sure of that. But darkness was only the beginning. Ancient humans feared something that modern psychology has a name for, and you still carry it in your body right now. The outgroup. Them. Psychologist Henry Tajfel discovered it takes almost nothing to trigger outgroup hostility. Arbitrary divisions were enough to make people view outsiders with suspicion, but what he was really measuring was 60,000 years of survival code. To ancient humans, a stranger was a potential threat to food, territory, and everyone you loved. Your body still runs that calculation. Every time a crowd of strangers tightens your chest, that is your ancient immune system doing exactly what it was built to do. Then there was the fear that lives deepest of all. Abandonment. Researcher John Cacioppo found that loneliness triggers the same neurological alarm as physical pain. The same brain regions light up whether you snap a bone or lose your closest friend. This is not metaphor. This is biology. Alone meant dead. No lone human survived the Pleistocene without a group. So your brain evolved to treat social rejection as an emergency equal to a physical wound. That hollow ache when someone leaves is not weakness. It is the most logical alarm evolution ever designed. Ancient humans also feared something you probably never think about: the sky. Not poetically, viscerally. Thunderstorms to a mind with no framework for electricity were not weather. They were something alive and furious and personal. Archaeologist Stephen Mithen noted that the pre-modern mind had no category for random, impersonal events. Everything that happened for a reason. Everything that moved had intention. So the storm was not a storm. It was a decision being made about you specifically. That is where gods came from. Not curiosity, terror. But here is the fear researchers almost missed. The one hiding inside a behavior you perform without thinking. Contamination. Psychologist Paul Rosen found the disgust response is not primarily about physical harm. It is about symbolic contamination. Ancient humans who avoided rotting meat and diseased bodies survived longer. Their children survived longer. So the survivors passed down a hair trigger alarm that still fires today. That involuntary recoil from something that looks wrong. That flash of disgust at something harmless. Your body still scans for invisible threats that soap and germ theory already solved. And finally, the fear that unified all the others. Loss of control. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux mapped the fear circuit and found the amygdala at its center, a small structure faster than conscious thought, faster than language. What triggers it most reliably is not the threat itself. It is unpredictability, uncertainty. Ancient humans managed that uncertainty through ritual, superstition. If you did this before the hunt and the hunt succeeded, you did it again. Not because it worked, because control, even imaginary, quieted the alarm. You still do this. You knock on wood. You wear the lucky shirt. You take the same route when life is good. Not superstitious. You are ancient. All of these fears share one thing. They are never about the thing itself. The darkness is not the real fear. The stranger is not the real fear. The storm is not the real fear. The real fear every time is what you cannot see coming, what you cannot control, what might take everything without warning. And right now in your chest, as you sit in the safest world any human has ever known, Some part of you is still scanning the dark, still watching the edges, still listening for the sound that doesn't belong. You are not anxious. You're not broken or weak. You are running 60,000 years of code that never got the update. The fear was never the problem. It was always the proof that something mattered enough to lose.